Hi, I'm Kaya.
And I'm Joanna.
And this is Starlit Citadel Reviews.
Seven Wonders Duel is a two-player version of the highly popular drafting game from Antoine Bauza, Bruno Cathala, and Repo's production.
In Seven Wonders Duel, players develop competing cities by collecting resources and building wonders and buildings. It's a two-player game that lasts about half an hour.
Players begin Seven Wonders Duel by placing the military tokens and conflict pawn on the board. They shuffle the progress tokens, draw 5, and add them to the board. Each player gets 7 coins, and the rest go on the table.
The wonders are shuffled, and 4 are drawn and laid face up. The starting player chooses one, the other player chooses 2, and then the starting player gets the last one. This process is repeated in reverse order so that each player ends up with 4 wonders, and the rest are discarded. Finally, 3 cards are discarded from each age deck, and 3 guild cards are shuffled into the age 3 deck. Then the game begins.
At the beginning of an age, that age's cards are shuffled and arranged in a pyramid design with some cards face down and some face up. The players then take turns choosing one of the face-up cards that is not covered by any other card and using it in one of 3 ways: to build a building, to build a wonder, or to obtain coins.
A player builds a building by paying the cost listed on the left of its card. To spend 1 resource, you must have one of its symbols in your city. You can also trade for a resource by paying a cost of 2, plus the total number of that resource's symbols in your opponent's city.
Some buildings have no cost, and some buildings have an extra cost line marked with a white symbol. If you already have a building that's marked with that same symbol in its upper right, then you can build that new building for free. Buildings are placed in front of you, arranged by color.
Brown and gray buildings produce resources that can be spent to build other buildings and wonders. Blue civilian buildings are worth victory points at the end of the game.
Yellow commercial buildings may give you a one-time coin payment, produce resources, reduce the cost of purchasing certain resources, or provide victory points.
Green scientific buildings may be worth victory points and grant you a scientific symbol. If you collect 2 identical symbols, you can immediately collect one of the progress tokens and gain the bonus it provides. If you collect 6 different scientific symbols, then you immediately win the game with a scientific victory.
Red military buildings increase your military power. You move the conflict pawn 1 space towards your opponent's side for every shield symbol on your new military building. Whenever the token enters a new zone marked by dotted lines, you resolve the effect of the token in that zone and discard it. If the conflict pawn gets to the end of the track, then the player at that end of the track immediately loses, and their opponent wins a military victory.
Purple guild buildings immediately give you coins based on the number of cards of a certain type or wonders in a given city, and will also grant victory points at the end of the game.
A player can also use a card to build a wonder by paying the wonder's building cost and tucking the card under the wonder tile. They immediately gain the bonuses listed on the wonder's right. Only 7 wonders in total can be built during a game.
A player can also discard their card to get 2 coins, plus 1 coin for every yellow card in their city. Players are going to continue taking turns, taking 1 card at a time, and turning over any face-down cards that become available until they run out. Then a new age begins.
At the end of the 3rd age, the game ends. Players add up victory points from buildings, wonders, progress tokens, and coins, and the player with the most victory points wins a civilian victory.
So Seven Wonders Duel is billed as a 2-player version of the classic Seven Wonders, and it's exactly what it says on the tin. If you like Seven Wonders, if you like 2-player games, you are probably going to like this game. One of the things that I thought it did very well was using that pyramid layout of cards in order to kind of simulate the drafting structure that is such an integral mechanic in the base game of Seven Wonders. Drafting with 2 players doesn't really work, and I think the pyramids still give you a lot of the same effects. You still don't have access to all of the cards right away. You still don't have knowledge of all of the cards right away. And they give you a way of denying valuable cards to your opponent as you gain an understanding of what kind of cards they need. So it's visually interesting, it's neat, and it's a very nice way of taking a mechanic that was just not suited to the two-player style and making it work. Another really nice innovation in this game is the 3 different kinds of victories. Rather than this just being a straight points race, you've now got kind of 2 different kinds of points races going on, as well as that aggressive military charge. Not only does it give you a bunch of different options in terms of developing your own strategy for winning and add a bit of replayability because of that, but this also means that players really can't get complacent. You can't isolate yourself from your opponent. You can't get focused on building one really great points engine to the exclusion of all else. You have to pay attention to what's going on multiple fronts in order to make sure that your opponent doesn't sneak up on you in a way that you weren't expecting. It's a really nice way of adding balance to the game and of really forcing you to engage with your opponent consistently. Now, Seven Wonders at this point is a little bit of an older game, and that's starting to show within its genre. This is one of the earliest tableau builders and kind of light civilization builders that really got popular, and those kinds of games have evolved and have been refined over time, and I would have liked to see more of those refinements integrated into Duel, given that it was released so long after its predecessor. I think probably the place where this is most glaringly obvious is in the symbols. This game uses very much the same symbology as the original Seven Wonders did, and even back then people were complaining that it was clunky and unintuitive and took a bit of time to learn, and that's still very much the case here. The symbols are great as memory tools if you already know what the rules mean, and you can kind of reverse engineer them from your knowledge of the game, but you can't really look at a symbol and understand right away what it means. And there are a lot of games that have come out in the meantime that are very good at creating intuitive and easy to understand symbology that helps you learn the game as you play it, rather than forcing you to immediately consult the rulebook. Especially in a game like Seven Wonders Duel, where flow and speed and timing is a really integral part of the experience, it does feel like those symbols break up the flow of the gameplay and are just a little bit dated at this point.
So another minor complaint about this game is the use of the theme. So you've got some beautiful art going on here. Just as in the original Seven Wonders, the art is gorgeous, the color choice is really lovely. You've got all these cool monuments from all these different cultures throughout history, and you're playing with them, and it's neat to sort of arrange them in a tableau. However, it doesn't really play into the mechanics at all. It's something pretty to look at, and that's kind of where it ends. Unfortunately, the theme really doesn't play into the mechanics at all in this case, and that's too bad, because I think there might have been an opportunity here to introduce just a little bit of that into this new version of Seven Wonders. That being said, I really did enjoy this game. I enjoyed the pace a lot. It was very quick. It felt like it sort of never let up, kept back and forth all the time. There was a lot of interaction. Direct interaction in the case of sort of attacking with that conflict pawn and the military stuff, and then indirect interaction. So denying the other player cards out of the pyramid, or making it difficult for them to use certain resources, that kind of thing. So there was a lot going on here, and it kept you really engaged with the other player. You couldn't really lose focus at any given point, or else you were probably going to lose track of one of those ways that the other player could win, and you might not be able to catch up. Also, this game, because it is sort of this two-player pacey game, it's sort of, duel is a really good word for it actually, because it's definitely sort of back and forth. It's very quick, and it's quick to learn and quick to play. If you can get over, again, that sort of difficulty in symbols that Kai was mentioning, once you learn them, you're going to be playing this game quite quickly. It kind of feels like it's a filler, but it's a smart filler. There's enough strategy in it that you're not going to feel cheated if you're playing this game. It is quick enough to fill sort of a filler spot on your gaming night, but there's enough strategy in it that you feel engaged and interested, and it doesn't lose its replayability, I don't think. So, if you like Seven Wonders and you're a two-player gamer, obviously, you should try this game because you're going to like it. But If also you're interested in just intense, quick, speedy two-player gaming, then probably you're really going to be engaged with this game. And I really liked it. I'm not actually that much of a two-player gamer, but I thought this game did a lot of things really well. So you should probably give it a shot if it's the kind of interaction that you usually experience in your gaming night or that you prefer to seek out. As a two-player game on the filler side, I think this is pretty strong.
So who wants a Seven Wonders of Westeros game? Because I do.